Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another round of sound. This is the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown, and we are live tonight. Opinions are going to fly all over the place, and they should be very interesting indeed. We have a lot to get into. We'll talk about Pitt Panthers. Made a coaching change to the offensive coordinator. We'll talk about the Penguins, whose 8-game streak ends tonight against Chicago. But the #1 topic tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown will, of course, be the Steelers, and a radical week to say the least. Here's your panel left to right on your television screen. We have, actually, top to bottom, Andrew Filipponi from the PM show. These guys change shows so much I don't forget who's where now. PM show every day on 93.7 The Fan. In the middle is Paul Zeitz from the Paul Zeitz Show. That's easy to remember. And then Tim Benz over there, Trib Live and Steelers Radio Network. So, Andrew, from the PM show every day from 2 to 6, I want to ask you about Antonio Brown. That was the riveting topic all week long. Look into your crystal ball. Is Antonio Brown part of the Steelers as they start the 2019 season?
Yeah, I think so, because the Steelers do not like to give the power, the control to the player. So I don't believe, even though there are some examples like LeGarrette Blount of guys whining or being insubordinate and getting themselves run out of town, it's one thing to do that with a backup running back. It's another thing to do that with a franchise player, a future Hall of Famer. And I think they'd rather hold Antonio Brown hostage than trade him away and give him what he wants. I think he clearly wants out of town right now, and I don't think the Steelers will let him have his way.
Part of the reason why I think they will try to move him is they want to give power back to the coach. It's kind of backwards to say this given how important Antonio Brown is, and I think Antonio Brown is better at his job as a wide receiver than Mike Tomlin is at his job as a coach. But I think AB threw Art Rooney II a life preserver this week because the heat is really coming down on his coach. We all know the Steelers hold dear this notion of never firing coaches. I think one way they can make it look good and sound good is if they can get a haul in return for Antonio Brown, turn around and say, we're giving power back to our coach, we're giving the locker room back to our coach, and let's see what Mike can do when he actually has coachable guys.
I think that they not only will they do it, they have to do it. I don't know how you keep the guy around. And I think they learned probably this year holding a guy hostage is not a good plan, because that's what happened with Le'Veon Bell, and they ended up having not a player where, you know, maybe if they had moved him, they'd have had more money under the salary cap to go maybe get somebody, maybe get a pick or something. I really think that they're going to have to trade him. It's clear the other part of this is the quarterback and him are not getting along, and you know what? The quarterback isn't leaving town anytime soon. So to me, you know, and I know that Ben Roethlisberger was on the radio saying, you know, how much he loves Antonio Brown, but come on now. I mean, all of the reports make it pretty clear that he's a big problem for Ben Roethlisberger, and that they're not going to get rid of the quarterback.
All right, Tim, real quick, I want to give me an order of blame, 1 through 3. If I got 3 names: Antonio Brown, Ben, Tomlin.
Oh, Antonio Brown, #1, first, foremost. Second, I hesitate to even say the other 2 because these are his actions. You have to be an adult in these situations, and he's not being an adult. Tangentially, yeah, the other 2, I guess you can push out some blame for Tomlin failing to discipline him, say, before the Buccaneer game, coming off the Chief game when he blew off a meeting. Apparently, he also blew off a meeting earlier in the year when he was eating oatmeal down in the lunchroom while everybody else was in a meeting upstairs. So, you know, I think that if he had been harder on AB earlier in the year, then maybe a precedent would have been set. The fact that there was a precedent set that he could get away with this stuff is probably why he took advantage of it this week against the Bengals. I think Roethlisberger, he exacerbates situations by things that he says on his radio show, but I don't think you can blame him for how AB acted in the first place. Be responsible for your own actions.
Yeah, Antonio Brown is obviously to blame, but I think, you know, Mike Tomlin is right there as, you know, one of his enablers. I mean, this guy's got a lot of enablers, and Mike Tomlin's been one of the biggest ones.
Yep.
Not just this year, for his entire career. How many times do we hear, that's his AB being AB, or, you know, you got to let him be, or what am I going to do, bench him? You know what? And now you don't. Now you have no control of the guy, which is why, going back to the first topic, I think you got to get rid of him.
Before the NFL changed its policy on celebrations, Mike Tomlin allowed for Antonio Brown to do things that hurt his team on the field. And you had the Facebook Live incident where there are Steelers players like Ben Roethlisberger who said that he broke a sacred code here by exposing us. He made our coach look bad. He was cursing up a storm about the Patriots, embarrassed Tomlin. And Mike didn't have the guts to do anything about it. So This is a bad parent. I mean, if you got a kid that's acting up, you look at who's in charge, who the disciplinarian is, and there isn't one here. Mike Tomlin has turned into, for me, the worst players coach in professional sports.
Paul, I want to ask you this. You mentioned you don't think Antonio Brown will be back, and I agree with that just because I think it's gotten too far off the rails here. But let's say they look to trades. What would you want in return? And if you don't get what you want, would you then say, good, we have to have him back? And would you go back on that?
After all that's happened, and then you add into it, well, now we tried to trade you and couldn't. Now you're going to come back. Could you imagine what a mess that would be in that locker room? I think if you get a first-round pick, you know, some combination of picks or whatever, as long as you get a first-round pick out of it, I think you got to do it.
Yeah, for the contract that he's under, I would say a first-round pick is something that they should get in return, or 2 number 2s or a 2 and a player is what I would expect.
Brandon Cooks was traded for a first-round pick last year. They've got Amari Cooper, so they should be able to get a first-round pick back. It's 3 years. It's $36 million. There has to be a team that is desperate for a number 1 wide receiver and a guy that can still give you 100-plus catches who is willing to give up a first-round pick. So you start there. I think you could even get a little bit more back, and that would be enough for me to trade him. But like I said, I don't think this.
Yeah, there's a lot of young starting quarterbacks on first-year contracts over the last 2 years that desperately need another target, and we're already seeing that running back numbers are getting phased out.
But I think there are a lot of teams that don't want to do that, Tim. Like, do you think the Jets want to say, Sam Darnold, you're in year 2, we're in New York City, let's throw Antonio Brown into this situation and see how it goes? I wouldn't want to put that kind of pressure on a young franchise quarterback.
Well, the Jets already the Jets are already the lead dog to get Lev. Why not get AB too?
Because Lev's different.
How about the Jacksonville Jaguars getting Flacco and Antonio Brown?
That could happen. All right, listen, we got to go to a break.
Smith.
When we come back, I want to ask these guys this. If the Steelers were playing today, and they could have been, should have been, would Antonio Brown have been on the field? We'll talk about that and many more subjects with regard to the AFC North. That's coming up. When we return, it's the number 1 Cochran Sports Showdown, live right here on KDK TV. The number 1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by number 1 Cochran, Go One Better, and by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health.